Hello friends, this is Worm and Hot Dog. PlayStation has done it yet again. Sony is honestly the gift that just keeps on giving, and I absolutely love it. For those of y'all who did not hear, or maybe you did hear and you want more of insight into what we're talking about, the final shape was leaked. I don't know why I'm putting final shape in quotation marks. I meant to say the final shape was leaked. And basically the way this happened was Sony had a game streaming service, their PlayStation game streaming service. So a certain amount of players on PlayStation 5 had the ability to load into the final shape, because the final shape was basically preloaded on this game streaming service that Sony has, and they got access, we'll talk about that in just a second, to basically everything that the final shape has to offer. Now, first of all, I'm gonna give just a little spoiler warning here. You don't have to click off just yet. I'll give you an actual spoiler warning before we talk about one of the things that I did want to talk about today. But for right now, we're just gonna talk about what happened. So anyways, PlayStation, or I shouldn't say PlayStation, Sony, they accidentally dropped a dime. I'm not really sure what went on internally that caused this to happen, but basically when users logged on to Destiny 2, they were met with a pretty standard like Guardian rank 1, like, you know, make a fresh Guardian and stuff. And so we didn't get insight into like the raid and, you know, the campaign and all this really awesome stuff that people want to see, but we did get access to the collections, and we saw a bunch of weapons and armors and ornaments and stuff that were in the collections, which was pretty exciting. Of course, this did include the raid weapons. Now, for me personally, I have not spoiled myself at all. I literally know one detail about these. Okay, and that is an origin trait. And again, I'll give you a spoiler warning before we actually talk about it. But I know the raid, or the leaked raid origin trait, I should say. But I don't know the weapon archetypes. I don't know, you know, how many weapons are coming with the raid. I don't know anything about it. And I've really been trying to avoid spoilers. I really like to go into these DLCs fresh. But being a content creator, it kind of does come with the territory, I guess, you know, being spoiled. So I'm anticipating being spoiled between now and next Tuesday/Wednesday when I'm able to play, because of course the servers at Bungie are absolutely out of whack. But with that being said, like I said, we saw armors, we saw weapons in the collections, we saw, you know, the season pass stuff, the Eververse storefront, like all of this stuff was revealed to players. And so there's a lot of really cool stuff that's going around. And again, this is all hearsay, I guess. Technically, I haven't seen anything myself outside of this origin trait for the raid weapons that we're going to be talking about. Again, in just a moment, I'll give you a warning. But yeah, thank you, Sony, for doing that. This is now what, like the second or third time that Sony has kind of dropped the ball when it comes to content and stuff that really probably shouldn't be spoiled, but is getting spoiled. But yeah, anyways, if you don't want to be spoiled, don't be on social media too much over the next couple of days. And with that being said, here is your official spoiler warning. We are about to talk about the new raid weapon origin traits. So yeah, you've been warned. Click off. I'm gonna give you about 3 seconds. 3, 2, 1. All right, here we go. The new raid origin trait is called collective purpose. And this, like, the reason I wanted to make this video and talk about it is because I guess it seems like it's a little bit underwhelming. Like, for being the ultimate raid, the raid where we kill the witness, the raid where, you know, we're supposed to be absolutely just, you know, having the finale, so to speak, I figured we'd have a stronger origin trait. And one of the things I talked about is maybe an origin trait where we had the ability to change the elemental damage type of our weapons. You know, if we have a weapon in the energy slot, it will change to stasis or strand if we're using stasis or strand subclass, similar to tessellation or something like that. Because, you know, when we got what was it called, Quicksilver Storm, back prior to Lightfall dropping, it had that effectively it had that nanotech tracer rockets. Then of course the DLC dropped, and those location weapons, those Neomuna weapons had that nanotech tracer rocket round thing going on. So I figured we'd probably see something similar to tessellation, and especially with prismatic coming, and we saw how prismatic is operating, I figured it would have been something really cool like that, like give us the ability to change our legendary weapons damage types. But no, it's not that. Like I said, it's called collective purpose. I've got it pulled up on my phone here. That's what I'm looking down at. But basically it states, again, last spoiler warning here, Gain bonus range and handling when near allies. Bows receive faster draw time and swords receive faster charge rate. The effect scales with the number of nearby allies. I'm gonna be honest, I don't know what weapons are coming with the raid, but this kind of seems like a little bit of a disappointing traits. Maybe if you have a bow, it would be nice to have that increase to draw time, but at the same time, like range and handling, these things to me more effective inside of PvP. And let's be honest, like, you know, I think in the majority of PvP you're not running around holding hands with your allies. Now, with the exception of being trials and competitive, and then you are running around holding hands with your allies, and we don't have the numbers for this, but I would have honestly rather seen, like, you know, buffs to all your stats, you know, range, stability, reload, like everything, like just small buffs. You know, maybe every ally you have nearby gives you +3 to all of these stats. And again, we don't have exact data numbers, so I don't know what they're going to be, but I don't know, like I really expected the raid origin trait to be a little bit spicier than it was. And it just, to me, it doesn't sound all that interesting. Now, again, we'll have to get the numbers here. Of course, if we have maybe like a shotgun, like hand cannon from the raid, then maybe we can start seeing some really interesting stuff going on, you know? I know that range inside of PvP is very, very coveted, shall we call it. So increasing your range as much as possible is probably going to be a good deal. Now, another thing that I am wondering about is with this new origin trait, is it going to be able to take us past that 100 cap? You know, obviously something like rangefinder, for example. Rangefinder used to be able to take us past the cap. Now, of course, it doesn't. They decoupled zoom from range and stuff like that. But I'm wondering if this collective purpose origin trait will allow us to surpass that 100. So if there is, I don't know, a scout rifle, for example, in the raid, and it has 100 range, and then you have collective purpose and you have nearby allies, if it will actually carry out past that range. Now, again, what you would use a scout rifle that way, you know, how far away would you be with a scout rifle? I don't really know, but it's just one of those things I'm thinking about. I'm wondering here. Of course, you also get the handling speed. Again, handling, like I guess it can be nice. It can add to the weapon's feel. But again, I was really hoping for something more than just bonus range, bonus handling when you're nearby allies. Also, I've said it before, I'm not a huge fan of death balling inside of the Crucible, and this weapon origin trait seems to promotes death balling and running around with your teammates and stuff. So we'll kind of have to see how it plays out. But yeah, that's really all I wanted to talk about. Of course, this is the only spoiler that I have actually seen. I am actively trying to stay away from social media right now because I don't want to see, you know, anything else. I don't know what else players have had access to. I don't know if anybody actually grinded through the Guardian rank so they can unlock stuff like destinations and you know, the raid and stuff like that. But yeah, I wanted to talk about this, and the reason why I chose this to talk about is because it just, to me, it seems underwhelming. It just, you know, I'll be honest, it just seems underwhelming. And I know players are going to say, well, any amount of range added to your weapon is good. And yes, like inside PvP, obviously that's great. But inside PvE, I don't see much use in that. The only, actually, in fact, as I look at this, the only PvE effect that I see that sounds really interesting is probably the bows with that faster draw time. How fast it is, I don't know. I would also assume that there's going to be a bow and a sword in the final shape raid because it says specifically bows receive faster draw time and swords receive faster charge rate. And if it's anything like the previous raids, we're only going to get 6 raid weapons. So yeah. But with that being said, I don't know. I want to hear your thoughts. First of all, of course, on the Sony, that's hilarious in my opinion. But you tell me your thoughts on that. But also tell me your thoughts on this new collective purpose origin trait. I'm not going to put it on screen here in editing or anything like that because I don't want to. I don't know. I'm not going to put it on screen. Like, you know, just listen to what I'm saying. Listen to me talk and tell you what it is. And yeah, if you really wanted to, you could probably go find it online. But tell me your thoughts on collective purpose. Do you like it? Do you think it could have been better? Do you think it should have been better? Is it underwhelming? Is it exactly what you hoped for? Tell me all that in the comments. Of course, if you like today's video, drop a like. It helps the channel out a lot. Subscribe for more daily Destiny content. And guys, do me a favor, watch the videos you see here on the end screen because for whatever reason, YouTube thinks you'll like them. See you on the next one. Bye for now.